All right. Good morning, Alta Realty Group Realtors. This is Kevin Lauren. I'm the Director of Training and Marketing, and this is our kickoff webinar for 2021. We're really excited about this year. Last year was an amazing year of growth for our company and for a lot of our agents, and this year we expect the same. So we're really fired up for this year and want to welcome all of the new agents that we've got with us. Really great to have all of our new agents joining us on our webinars. So that's just amazing. Before I get too far in, I'd like to bring on Bill Seitz, our CEO of Clearview Mortgage, our mortgage arm of our group. Bill, good morning, and how are you?
Good morning, Kevin. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, pal.
And Happy New Year to everybody in the company. We're very grateful for having you with us, and we hope that your holidays were good and safe and uneventful.
Right?
Only in the positive, yeah. So I know it was a little bit of a dial down year for us, and I think most people were having a dial down year as well, which is not always a bad thing, but it is what it is, and we just hope that everyone had a good holiday.
Yeah, I was able to just kind of stay around my hometown, which was great, and didn't have to travel much. So I normally do a lot of traveling during the holidays, and so it was kind of nice to just take the year off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did a couple Zoom calls with the family.
It's pretty much the way of the world, right?
That's true. Yeah, and it is great because the our brokerage was founded on the premise of working remotely, working from wherever you are, using technology, and so it's very interesting. We've been using Zoom for I think about 3 years now, and when my wife brought Zoom to me, I was like, "Whoa, this is a pretty cool." We had used a bunch of different other webinar systems and GoToMeeting and all those different things, and she brought me Zoom, and I said, "Oh, this really works really well." And so it's interesting to see it's now the #1 platform for telecommunicating. So that's
Yeah,
really cool.
that's yeah, and I think even in the last 9 months, it's I mean, whether you're a teacher, whether you're in sales, whether you're in corporate level, everybody's using it.
Totally. We should have bought stock, huh?
Yes, we should have.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. All right, good. So before I get too far, I also want to bring on Travis Breton, our corporate broker. Good morning, Travis. How are you today?
Doing great. How you doing?
Fantastic. And so today, the aim of our webinar today is to get everybody fired up and to get everybody going the right direction. So I think it was probably 3 weeks ago, we did our 2021 business plan webinar. And so I'm actually going to make sure that there's a link to that webinar as well in my replay that I send out today. So let me just share my screen and pull up that particular graphic. 1 second. So our business plan workshop, we went through this already. So I'll just briefly go through this, guys. Not to, we don't want to beat the dead horse, but you guys definitely need to create your business plan for 2021. And so creating a vision statement, identifying your target customer, developing your goals, really getting your mindset thinking the right way is going to help you a lot in 2021. So determine your unique selling proposition, right? What do you do that others don't, or what are you best at? You want to be able to identify that and then use that in your marketing, right? And then of course determine the tools and budget for each strategy, right? What am I going to spend? What am I going to use to accomplish my goals? So those are really good things to look at. Of course, you're going to need to measure your performance. It doesn't really do you too much good to just go through and not to look back at what you did in order to make really good decisions about going forward, right? So it's really important to get all of these things done. Get your SWOT analysis done. I know, Allie was on a call with us about 2 months ago or a month and a half ago, and she had some really good points about the SWOT analysis and a couple of other things as well. So you're going to want to get all of your ducks in a row for the year and get yourself a plan. Okay. And so one of the things that I went over, and this is I think going to be a massive thing for all of our agents if they really embrace this. I have a lot of agents that started doing this technique, and they're starting to really see the benefits. So what I need everybody on this call to do is, you're aware that I provide content for you guys on a monthly basis. I give you a nice blog post, um, and you guys are able to grab that and to use it in your marketing. So the way that we want everybody to be doing this is, you want to be able to publish some useful real estate information. I provide that for you. So you want to be able to produce that information, put it onto your blog post and or your newsletter, probably both, and you want to get that out to all the people that you know, right? And so this webinar, I'm going to go through literally step by step on exactly the mechanics of doing that, because this is a really, really important thing for all of us to do, because we all need a reason to get in contact with our sphere of influence, to reconnect with our sphere of influence. You need a reason to call someone. You can't just call them up and say, hey, you guys looking for real estate? That doesn't work. It's not genuine. You're not providing anything of value. You're just being an annoyance. So the way that I want our agents to approach their sphere of influence is from a position of, I want to help you. I want to provide information to you for free, right? So we want to be the opposite of the annoying agent that just calls up, hey, how's it going? Do you guys need any help with real estate? That's horrible, right? Bill, what would you say with respect to that? If somebody called
Well,
you and just said,
I can, yeah, well, yeah, that's not the right angle.
no.
For me, even in doing loans and doing mortgage and stuff, or even real estate, it's really the same thing. It's like, if I notice the market's improved, or I notice that I'm keeping track of where I'm at with all my clients, whether you've sold a home or whether you've done a refinance for them, doesn't matter. If I'm keeping track of the market, whether you're keeping track of home sales or home data in the neighborhood, the reason to contact is, hey, did you see that this home sold in your neighborhood? There's a new threshold, a new price point, break through the top sales point in that neighborhood. Or, if I'm going to call on a refinance, I'm going to say, hey, rates have dropped. Are you interested in looking at what it would be if I can get you under 3%? There has to be a value benefit. And if people really genuinely think that you're out there to help them and inform them, it's a very easy conversation, right? If your intention is true and you're doing it for the right reasons, it'll come through and be transparent to that.
Right, exactly. And you're not just calling them up. You're calling to provide value, to help them, and that has to be your mantra. How can I provide value to my clients? They need information. I'm the expert, right? And so utilizing this marketing piece, and let me just bring up this month's marketing piece. And so what I always do is let me just pull up my internet browser window. What I always do is, and here's our agent resource center. If you click on about and you go and you do the little drop down and you come down to news and insider tips, that's where we, basically, this is our blog, right? I don't like to call blogs because sometimes they're misunderstood. I call ours news and insider tips. So these are all the bits of content that I've provided to our agents over the years, right? So this is where you can always come. First of all, I always email everybody the content. So you can go, you can click on the link that I email you, you can steal the content there. Or you can come to this news and insider tips, you can click on the most recent blog post, and you can literally take everything from here. You can right click, you can save the image, you can copy every single bit of this and put it into your blog, right? So what we're doing here is we are creating a talking piece, right? And so what is this particular piece all about? New year, new home. Set home ownership goals, whether you're buying, selling, or staying put. This is going to give your readers a lot of information that is going to help them make that decision, right? So this is a really nice piece. It comes complete with references and with sources. And so this is not just a kind of a willy-nilly piece. This is a really, really good, and they all are. They're all very important pieces that you can send to your client, and you can use this as a talking point. Okay, so I hope there's no questions there, because that should be very straightforward. So what we do with this information, so let me stop my share again, and let me bring up our checklist. Okay, where's my checklist? Okay, so this is my January checklist of events. If I can find it. Nope, that's not it. Let me save this real quick. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I should be able to find my January checklist of events now. There we go. Okay, so the first step, so these are our steps, right? And I want every agent to do this every month. This is how we do it. I usually send out that content piece around the 4th, between the 1st and the 5th of the month. So as soon as you receive that piece, you go ahead and you create your blog post in your website. So most of the agents on this call have our agent marketing system, if you're part of our program 2, 3, or 4. And so you have a website that has a blog, right? So the first step would be post that to the blog. And I'll show you mechanically how we do it in a sec. Then the next step, and this is kind of an optional one, is edit the blog post and add some relevant local market information, especially if you are really working a specific farm. So add some more stuff to what I have given you. Great idea. Personalize it maybe a little bit. Then use that report instead of the blog post for mailers and giveaways, right? So send this report out to people. You can even do it in a mailer. You could do a specific mailer, right? So that's a really good thing to do if you want to kind of take this to the next level. So the next thing you want to do is make sure, before you send this blog post out, make sure your database is up to date. Go in, fill in missing email addresses, add contacts that you've just talked to. Maybe you've talked to a few different people, but you just haven't had a chance to add them into your database. This is a really good time of the month to go ahead, make sure that your database is up to date. Then connect with them on social media as well. So you want to, when you add someone to your database, also try to connect with them on social media, if at all possible. And Travis does a great job of that. So send the email to all the contacts in your database, right? We all use, or everybody that is on our program 2, 3, or 4 has a CRM system, and we can basically blast this information out to everybody with a click of a button. So very important. We send it all out to everybody. Then we also I have for you guys an email template, and I have these all in the ARG Resource Center. I'll show you that in a second. So you actually have an email template to send out to these people. In fact, let's just bring it up right now. So the email template looks like this. Okay, again, I have all this stuff in our Agent Resource Center. So let's go to the Agent Resource Center. And this is where you guys will find a lot of really good information. So in the Agent Resource Center, we have a little spot that says Tips and Resources. So in our Tips and Resources place, I have updated this to have our letter template. So this is our January 2021 letter template that is used to follow up with our January blog post. So let's click on that. Let's take a look at what it says. Okay. I don't know why it's not working, but let's try it again. Interesting. Let me pull it up a different way. Okay, so our letter template looks like this. And literally just copy and paste this, right? So the subject of the email is going to be, what are your 2021 home ownership goals? Hi, first name. Start of the new year compels people to take a fresh look at their goals, so it makes perfect sense to set home ownership goals, whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, invest in rental property, or even if you're happy where you are right now. My latest blog post titled New Year, New Home is a must read. It highlights how historically low mortgage rates increase home sales and price growth, and a tight housing inventory could affect your 2021 home ownership goals. Right? So this is a completely done for you letter template that you can use, put it into your CRM, send out to your people. And then of course this is a link to our blog post. You're gonna want to put a link to your blog post. And I'll show you that in a second. So we have everything done for you. And this is also kind of cool. One of the goals I discussed in the above blog post is to evaluate your budget and save you money in the new year. I have an extra resource to make that super easy. Ask me for my report, 20 ways to save money and stretch your household budget. Well, this was our blog post from, I think, May. It was from April or May. So it's really a good idea to reference some of your old blog posts in some of these engagement letters, or these different letters. So this is what I would use if you're sending this out to a current database that is used to seeing stuff from you. However, I have another email template that's in the Agent Resource Center that we call our re-engagement template. So it's very similar, but it's more of a way to contact someone that you haven't contacted in a while. They're in your database and you just haven't talked to them in a while. So this is an example of a re-engagement email letter template. So the subject is my apologies. That's kind of a provocative, maybe subject line that might get somebody to open your email. And so this particular one says, hi, first name, you deserve an apology from me. I haven't stayed in good contact with you. This is entirely my fault. So you're basically just re-engaging this client. You're letting them know that you probably haven't reached out to them in a long time, but you are thinking of them and you do want to provide value to this client. And so now we're just we're basically saying the same thing in a little bit different way, and we're re-engaging with these clients. So for some of you, this might be a more appropriate email template. And so the re-engagement email template is on the Agent Resource Center as well. So those are really, really important starting points, right? So then let me get back to our checklist. After that, what I think everybody should do, and this is kind of an optional thing, but I think it's a really, really important step, is to create a 30-second film, literally just an iPhone film of yourself, 30-second to 1-minute video about the blog post. So I have talking points too, so you can do a little quick, blog post overview, right? And then you're going to put that on social media, right? And so I do have in the Agent Resource Center a 1-minute talking points videos, or not video, but resource as well. So let me show you that. So this is, again, in the Agent Resource Center. This is a talking points thing. So you don't even have to come up with your own talking points. So what you would do is you would post this. You'd post New Year, New Home, set your home ownership goals for 2021. And you'd put this little blurb in there if you liked. The fresh start of 2021 means you might be making some home ownership resolutions, whether you're buying, selling, or staying put. Here's what you need to know about the pandemic-induced market conditions that might affect these goals. And then you put in a little link to the post. And then what you're going to be talking about in your little video is you're just literally going to read this. You could read, it's like a script. You could say, are you including any home ownership goals in your New Year's resolutions for 2021? This is Kevin Lauren with Alta Realty Group, here to tell you that if you haven't, you should. Historically low mortgage rates, increased home sales, and price growth, and a tight housing inventory mean that the real estate market right now is offering a great opportunity to improve your quality of life. So you could do a few of these bullet points. You could read all these bullet points, but you'll have some talking points. And so every month, I'm going to make sure that I give you guys these talking points. So there's really no excuse. we have every reason to contact every single person in our database. So this is the fuel with which to do it. So let's get back to our checklist. So the next part is after we do that 1-minute video, we post that to social media. And then we're going to want to, if you really want to take it to the next level, you're going to want to run a Facebook advertisement, right? You're going to want to boost your post of you talking about this blog post. And then you're going to want to boost the post of the blog post. So, and you don't have to spend a lot of money on these things. You know, if I were the agents on this line, I'd spend about $25 on each of those boosted posts. You don't need much. Let them run for a couple weeks, and then the most important part is the follow-up. Okay, and so following up individually, whether it's a text message, whether it is a phone call or an email, or even a personal message like a messenger, a Facebook Messenger communication. So this is the most important part. You have to communicate. You have to be the squeaky wheel and not the secret agent. No secret agents. We are letting everybody know what we do. We're professionals. We're proactive. And so this is a great way to communicate with everybody in our database. And so maybe you contact everybody in January, right? In February, you're going to have a little bit more of a hot list of people that are a little bit hotter, and you want to make sure you're hitting those guys first. So there's a big difference between just contacting people and contacting people with a very, very important reason and with some really good information. So you're going to start training your clients and your prospects to expect this information from you. And so Bill Seitz and I, we ran a real estate company selling real estate in Southern Baja from about 2003 to 2008. And we literally, the thing that we got the most business from was, of course, Google AdWords, and because it was in its infancy. But once we hooked someone, we had a newsletter that went out religiously. We never failed on the newsletter. It always went out every month. And so our group, they started to expect it. And what our newsletters were they'd feature a property, a nice property in Southern Baja, but they also talked about really cool area stuff, things to do, new things that popped up, new restaurants, all that kind of stuff. So this is not, we're not doing anything new here, guys. This is tried and true techniques that we have used to get business. And so you guys definitely need to do the same thing. So Bill, do you have any comment on that?
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, we had after a certain amount of time, we had an incredible database to email to, and we actually, got introduced to some pretty heavy duty people that, were big players in real estate and that were interested in Baja. And to touch on your point, it wasn't always real estate centric. Obviously, there was pieces in the newsletter that was real estate relevant, but they would talk about the blue whale or the gray whale migration, or it would talk about fishing on the East Cape, or it has to have that balance to keep the engagement.
For sure. So the next thing I want to do is I want to show you guys step by step how we do all this stuff. So I'm going to use one of our awesome realtors in the Bay Area, Rhonda Butler. I'm going to use her account. And so imagine that Rhonda, it's about the first of or the 4th of the month, and Rhonda receives my email, and she's got the content. So what does she do? Well, she goes and she opens up her blog post area, which is under personal. Go to blogging, and we go add new. We go back to my agent resource center, and we go to the news and tips. Sorry, I'm not sharing my screen with you guys. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, great. So we go to news and tips. We click on it. First thing we're going to want to highlight is the title. We copy that. We open up our agent marketing area, and here's Rhonda's. And I'm going to paste my title into there. The focus word, you don't really have to worry about it too much, but maybe New Year. Second thing that we're going to want to grab is all the text. So we literally just highlight the entire text all the way down here to the bottom. We want to make sure we include our sources. Right click, copy, bring it back over to our blog post area, right click and paste. And it normally requires us to do a Control V or Command V if you're using a Mac. So we've got our content now in here. Then it also allows us to do a little quick excerpt. So I normally highlight the first paragraph, right click it, copy, and put it down in here, and again, Control V. And it will only take the first 280 characters, so I always kind of back it up a little bit, and then I put 3 dots, 1, 2, 3, to make sure people understand that there's more to read. Then I select a category for my blog, maybe market analysis, tips and tricks, whatever. And then I'm going to want it to select my image. So in order to do that, we go over to our blog post, and I right click on the image itself. I click Save Image. I save that image somewhere on my hard drive where I can retrieve it. And then I come back into my blog post area, and I go into my file locker right here, and I upload the image. And I already have this in a file. So I go and I find my file on my hard drive. And I have everything organized by date and organized in several different ways. So, and I'm going to. So now I've uploaded this. I can copy that image if I'd like, and I can come back over to my blog post, and I can paste my link to that image here. And then I, of course, want to save this, and now I have a draft. So if I want to publish it, which I do, click the publish button. You can set the date. So again, you could set blog posts up for the whole year if you wanted in advance. But I only sent you guys one a month, so you can all, of course, do your own. Use this date. So now this has been published. So we want to take a look at what that looks like. Let's click View, and now Rhonda has a brand new, awesome talking point and piece to send to her clients, right? So mechanically, that's exactly how we do it. So does anybody have any questions specifically about that? Just put it in the chat. And of course, anybody that's part of our program 2, 3, and 4, you can schedule an appointment with me, and we can go through this stuff individually, which is something that I do every week for a lot of our agents. So don't hesitate to do it. So Bill or Travis, any comments or takeaways from using this system in order to re-engage, in order to stay top of mind with the people in your sphere of influence and your clients?
Travis, you want to chime in, or?
Sorry, I wasn't sure if you were in
I was waiting for you.
I baited you guys because I said that. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it was like the silent standoff.
Yeah. So I think in general, just think content, whether it's blogging or, if you're going to be on social media or, doing video, whatever it's going to be, think content. That's how you stay in front of people, providing information, providing value. Quality content is really what you want to be, providing to your sphere. And I think database management is also a key factor in success. So if you do not have your database in a contact management system, I highly recommend doing that.
Immediately.
Now, as the year is new and fresh and everybody's kind of gung ho, a good time to put together your database, sit down for a day or whatever and get them all into your CRM, so you know what you're working with. You can start, getting in front of them a little better.
Yeah, and what I say, Travis, too, is some people get overwhelmed with that. Like, put in 10 a day.
Yeah,
that set realistic goals, right?
yeah. Depending on if you have a huge database, you're gonna want to chunk that off a little bit. But
Yeah.
Even if you have 5 people, get them into your CRM and get a drip campaign going to them. If you sold some homes last year, this is a prime time to send them their final settlement statement. They're going to need that for their taxes. That's a good time to reach out in November, for a good piece to reach out with anyways, to reconnect. We sold homes 2, 3, 4 years ago. I'm sure they've got some good equity by now. Maybe a nice CMA report is a prudent thing to do in January to kick off the year with them. Maybe reconnect, show them how much equity they've gotten in their home.
Yeah, and Travis, I think what a really good strategy is to send this piece out to everybody, but then in your follow-up, you have specific, the people that you sold to, and the people that you're going to want to provide a CMA to. That's going to be a shorter list, right? And so when you're following up, when you're doing that phone call follow-up or email follow-up, you can definitely include that kind of thing as well. I mean, that is just, if a realtor does that to me, I'm going, wow, this person is on the game, and this is the person I want to work with, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So again, it's providing value, which you state over the year many times in webinars. Provide value, and that's what people want.
For sure, and content is king, right?
Yep.
So I wanted to I don't know if we're gonna have time today, Bill, but Bill sent me this. This is a really cool 10 reasons most real estate agents fail. This is from Tom Perry. We're not, everybody
Let's
has
do let's do it tomorrow.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
next week.
Yeah. I will send this link though. I'm going to include this link. So if you have a chance, maybe watch it in your spare time. But yeah, I think next week we will play this in its entirety because it is really a good piece.
Yeah, I previewed it this morning, Kevin, and I actually saw it yesterday in our. We were just doing some year-end review, just as you all should do, and reevaluate what you did in 2020 and look at what was successful for you and what wasn't successful and how to improve your business. As we kind of went through that, that exercise yesterday, and we'll be making some changes coming in the new year. But this is a really good 20-minute video that I think that we should watch together as a webinar, talk about it, and have some discussion. Yeah. Because it really, this is from Tom Ferry. He's one of the leading real estate trainers in the country, and this is not an endorsement of him by any means. I mean, some people like him, some people have used other Buffini and other people as well. So it's not an endorsement of him per se, but the content in this video is incredible, and this is for all of us to understand why people fail in this business. And if you're struggling, there's going to be some things in here, I guarantee you, that you'll have to ask yourself, am I doing the things that he's pointed out? Am I structuring my day the right way? Am I treating this as a business? So I do think it's important that we review this as a company and get some good interaction on it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Tom Ferry definitely has some good points to his what he preaches. So we'll just leave it there. He's an interesting character though, right?
Yeah, no, I've never subscribed to him back when I was in real estate sales, but I do think he does understand this business upside down, backwards, and forwards. And one of my we've actually shared one of my Dave Solomon, who runs the Solomon Group. He was in my wedding. One of my best men at my wedding went to San Diego State with me, and was in the business program together and surf team together. he got into real estate a few years after I did, and his mom was a big agent up in the Brentwood area, LA, West LA. And so he kind of piggybacked with his mom, who already had an existing book of business. But what he did is he went in and got the hardcore Tom Ferry training. Once again, not an endorsement, but it's just the route he took. And he basically took all this digital type millennial younger generation aspects and merged it into his mom's existing business, and they've exploded. They're one of the top 50 agents, I think, in the country. And I know we've shared their web and blog posts, or their newsletter before, which is, speaks to exactly what we're talking about. But it's something that we should all look at and analyze together. And I think it's a good way to start the new year.
Oh, absolutely. Well, great. And I appreciate you bringing that to us, Bill. So agents, we have run out of time, but I want you guys to really, take what we've said today to heart. And I want you guys to really make a commitment to yourself to utilize the tools that we're providing. And I know it's going to make an impact in your business. Doing this in conjunction with the other things that you're doing, just this little technique and doing it consistently every month will bring you business. That I can guarantee if you do this properly, right? So guys, make it a great week. Get out there and make it a productive week and a productive and amazing year. We are in control of what we do. Our time is our very best asset that we have, so let's utilize it properly. All right, guys, get out there, and we'll see you next week on the webinar. Bye-bye.